All right, we got the Jets' top 10 QBs. No Aaron Rodgers. Let's get to number 10. It's going to be Al Doro. First Jet quarterback. Foundational figure. Led the league in touchdowns his first year. Had to throw him in at number 10. Number 9, we got Brett Favre. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. Look, he only played 1 year, acquired for a 4th rounder. First 11 games were electric. They went 8-3, and then he hurt his bicep and they collapsed. And then there was the dick pic scandal. But the first half of the season was magic. He was 22 picks to lead the league, still made the Pro Bowl. Jets don't have a deep QB history, so Favre gets number 9 on the list. Number 8 is going to be none other than Mark Sanchez. Bit of a mercurial figure in Jets history. Die-hard Jet fans don't want anything to do with him. Year 1, he won 2 playoff games as a rookie. Year 2 goes 11-5, beats Brady and Manning on the road. So the Jets thought they might have something. And then the roster kind of regresses the next 2 years, and Sanchez's limitations are exposed. You had the butt fumble, but those 4 playoff wins did happen, and because of those, I got to put him at 8. Number 7, Boomer Esiason, former MVP with the Bengals, and in his first year, he was pretty steady, and it all was gradually downhill from there. He was a solid veteran QB, really on a depleted team. Okay, number 6, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, this is the place where he earned the name Fitzmagic. In 2015, top 5 Jets quarterback season. Threw for 31 touchdowns, a Jets record. And Fitzpatrick, who played with passion, who played with grit, was really the toast of the town. Jets go into week 16, must win to make the playoffs, playing Buffalo. Fitzpatrick threw 3 picks in the 4th quarter, Jets lose. 2015, aside from that 4th quarter debacle, was an excellent year. I got him above Boomer because Boomer just was blah. Fitzpatrick at least had some magic to him. All right, number 5, Richard Todd. This guy was supposed to be the next Joe Namath, drafted out of Bama as well. A little too much pressure on the kid, man. Struggled his first few years, and then he put it all together, 1981-82, and the Jets found themselves in the AFC Championship game with the Dolphins, where they lost the Mud Bowl. And Richard Todd, threw 5 interceptions, it was a low for the Jets. I got him at number 5. Number 4, I got Chad Pennington. Had him at 3 at first, but to me, Chad's 4. Chad is just such a solid guy. When he was at his best, he was surgical. Leading the league in completion percentage. You know, he had limited arm strength, especially after he tore his rotator cuff and came back, and then tore it again and came back. He was the most cerebral quarterback the Jets ever had. 2002, he took over for Vinny, and that was his best year as a pro. Led the league in completion percentage. Look at this touchdown-interception ratio here. The Jets were looking like they had quarterback taken care of for a decade. And then 05, the rotator cuff injury. And number 3, I got Vinny Testaverde. You know, Chad, Vinny. I just think Vinny was better. You know, Pennington was a game manager. Vinny was more explosive, especially when he was younger. 1998 for Vinny, his first year as a Jet, was I think Vinny's best year as a pro and probably the best year by a Jet quarterback. 29 touchdowns, 7 picks, and 101 QB rating. Got some Offensive Player of the Year votes. 12-1 as a starter. The Jets really had something in the late 90s, man. They had a good defense. Got to the AFC Championship game in 98. They're knocking on the door. They got a good core. They got a good defense. They got Vinny, and then boom. 99, he tore his Achilles week 1. One of the biggest what-ifs in Jets history. Now, Vinny came back, won Comeback Player of the Year, and would have several eras, several moments with the Jets. Nothing topped 1998. He's one of the most talented QBs that they've had. Again, that what-if will always linger. So number 2, Ken O'Brien. You know, statistically, Ken O'Brien was the best long-term starter the Jets ever had. In 1985, possibly the best year by a quarterback that they've ever had. Led the league in QB rating. Look at the good ratio here, 25-8. Almost had 4,000 yards passing. This is 1985. 86, he had another good year. 5th in Offensive Player of the Year voting. Played at a very high level. But his career was dragged down by his supporting cast. They had a weak O-line, had a weak defense. I really think he could have done more if he had more. Really one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the 1980s. Number 1, it should be no surprise, Joe Namath. He's a cultural icon. Passing style really helped modernize the NFL. He had the swagger, he had the charisma, constantly playing through injuries, threw a lot of picks, even though it was a different era. His defining moment was 1968, Super Bowl III. Jets are 18-point dogs to the Colts. Namath calls it, says they're going to win, and they do. Legitimizes the AFL, legitimizes the merger. Joe Namath didn't have to do anything else after that point. He'd still be number 1 on this list. You forget sometimes the Jets have won a Super Bowl. And then really the shame of it all was that both of his knees were destroyed by age 26. He came back in 72 and had a big year, led the league in passing and touchdowns. But he was just so limited by injuries, but he was a warrior and played through it. But he was really just a true gunslinger. The historical and cultural impact really outweigh the numbers. Plus, he's got a ring. Namath is number 1. It's kind of weak down low. I mean, I think the Patriots were worse at QB, to be honest. You know, Ken O'Brien's a stud. Vinny in 1998 was a stud. The metric really values playoff performance. It had Sanchez a little too high. They had Darnold at 10. I did not. So here's me versus the metric. Like and comment. Let me know what you think.